Hi friends, welcome to Grungy Journal Making Time. This stuff that I'm getting ready to show you was given to me by my friend Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic. She loves grungy. She's an amazing grungy journal maker, and look at this piece that she created and sent to me. It is so beautiful. There's buttons on the cover and lace. It's completely grunged up. She sent me some vintage ephemera. It's wonderful. There was some letters there, some actual letters. She finds these things. I don't know how she finds them, but she does. And so she created this little booklet, and it was sent to me during my 2K giveaway. And what I had done was I asked everyone who wanted to enter to suggest a journal theme, and Dale chose grungy and sent in goodies that I could use. So it is my intention to use just about everything here unless there's multiples of some stuff. For example, the library cards. She sent me quite a good amount of those, so I won't use all of those in this journal. But everything else, I'm going to try to use it in this journal that I'm creating. I wanted to give you a look at each of these items so that you could see what we had to play with before we got started. In case you didn't see my first video, I wanted to let you know I looked up the word grungy just to make sure that I knew exactly what it meant, and it simply means dirty. So, because of that, we're going to go ahead and take some ink and we're going to go around all of the edges of the pages. My ink was getting a little dry and it wasn't going on as dark as I would really like it to, so I put a couple of drops of coffee in it, and that is giving me a much more intense look, as you can see. Before I get any further into this video, I would like to mention to you that this is my February design team project for Line Dot Arrow, and I am using her kit, Vintage Victorian Beauties. And I will be sure to link that in my description box. One thing I did, and I mentioned it in my first video, but in case you missed that, I usually print out the digital kits on the back of scrapbook paper, and I put that through my back feeder. But I have to tell my printer to use and choose the back feeder. And on some of these I forgot to do that. And I don't like to have plain paper in my journals. So what I ended up doing was sewing the plain paper. It's the digital kit, but it's plain on one side. I ended up sewing that to either scrapbook paper or to vintage music sheets, or actually in the case of this one, vintage sewing pattern sheets. My friend Dale had given me a vintage bingo card, and I wanted to use it, but I did not want to use it in its original state because it was just too big. So I peeled the layers off and I cut it. I probably cut it first. I don't remember. At any rate, I'm going to end up working with both ends of it. So this end says bingo, and you can see I'm just roughing it up with some sandpaper, and then I'm going to use the other side of it, and you see it right there. I'm wiping it down because I roughed that up with sandpaper too. It had a very glossy finish to it, and I did not want that to stay the way it was. So now I am inking the edges, and I think what I'm going to do is I'll end up attaching this to pieces of the scrapbook paper, but as pockets. As you can see, I put some ink on there, and I had put more coffee in my ink pad, so there was a lot of ink available for me, as you can see. And I'm putting it on the bingo sheets, and I'm just wiping it down with some cloth. Actually, that might have been paper I was wiping it down with. At any rate, I'm wiping it down. I have these packages from, is that the Paper Studio? I think that's maybe what it is. At any rate, I've got these, they're empty, as you can see, and I think let's go ahead and use the cardboard and let's make something with it. First things first, this cardboard has a sheen to it. You can see it's sort of shiny, and things will have a hard time sticking to it, so we've got to get rid of that. And I just have my sandpaper here, and I'm going over it. I'm just going to get rid of that shine. Once that's done and all wiped down, we're going to go ahead and start collaging on here. I'm using my Mod Podge and a foam brush. You can use any sort of brush that you would want to. I just happen to like using foam brushes. Once I get that on there and it dries a little bit, I'll go ahead and trim the edges off. The next thing I will do is I'll check all the corners because it's easy to miss the corners. And so you can see I'm just putting a little Mod Podge there, and I'll just press that down, and then everything will be nice and secure. Dale had given me some vintage photos, authentic, and I'm not quite ready to let those go yet. So I took them, I put them on my printer, and I printed out a black and white copy of them. And we're going to go ahead and put one of those photos right here on this piece that we're creating. I have some corrugated cardboard here that's covered with gesso, and I've been wanting to work with it. It's been in my stash for a little while. I received it in a swap that I did. I absolutely love it. It adds a lot of texture and interest to our projects. So I'm going to cut a piece off, and then I'm going to adhere the new piece that we just created. I'm going to adhere that to it. And I think ultimately in the journal, this is going to end up being a flip, like we'll attach it to a page with fabric, and then we'll be able to flip it open. I think this turned out great, and I can't wait for you guys to see it in the journal. Thanks for watching. See you soon.